Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the I Did It First podcast. I'm Riley.
I'm Anna.
And she's in a mood so far.
I'm in a fantastic mood.
No. When you said I'm Anna, I should have said you're annoying.
Who's
I'm
in
kidding.
the mood?
We have a lot to talk about today. One, Morgan Wallen just came out with a bunch of new music.
So that's all we're listening to.
All we're listening to. Like on repeat.
Like
in
you
the car.
turn the station and it's just another song.
Yeah, it's not even the station. You sound so mature. We turn on CarPlay.
Seasoned. Thank
CarPlay.
you.
Seasoned, sure. You sound so vintage. That's cute.
That's cute.
So we've been listening to a lot of Morgan Wallen. What else? Today I got the birth control out of my arm.
You guys, it was pretty intense. It was way more intense even than putting it in because they kind of just shotgun that thing in.
Yes.
But like to take it out, it's like, I don't know how many different incisions. Whew. Crazy
so
work.
I had the Nexplanon in my arm and I was having the worst mental health.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would opt for that one. I got to be honest. The
Truthfully,
whole process to me
I've honestly, at this point now, I've literally tried every birth control. Clearly, it just does not work.
No, I'm all for men just getting a vasectomy. They
Yeah,
can
it's
get reversed.
reversible.
And it doesn't put their body through this nightmare that we go through.
Because you cannot rely on men to take birth control.
But then you're right. At the same time, they'd be like, yeah, I had one.
And you're like,
did you? I'm going to need you to leave a little
I did that
specimen.
today. That hurt so bad. Well, it didn't. She shot up my arm with lidocaine, and then I think just knowing what was about to happen and the fact that she was cutting my arm and then having to tweeze it out.
No, she was squeezing. I don't know if you saw that.
I could feel it.
I was like, that is so gross.
And there's scar tissue that builds around it.
No.
So, but it's out. It's officially out, and now I don't have this weird bump in my arm, or if someone goes to grab this arm, I don't immediately shut down. So
it should be fun dealing with that.
Oh my gosh. I can also hear my breathing.
I know. I told you.
I know. But that's all about to change.
We're going to fix that.
So today we're talking about something that multiple friends and I have been talking about a lot recently, and that is moving in silence and how important it is to kind of just let your results speak for themselves.
Uh-huh.
And this conversation was triggered when I was on a walk with Chloe. And that is how you brought it up earlier, how a lot of our topics come to be is
on our walk.
These profound moments.
It usually starts with we were on a walk, and I just realized how much comes out of those walks.
Yes. And I remember it's because, funny enough, I was on a walk. I don't know who I was with, but I think I was with Hannah. And we walked to Vacancy, which is 10. No.
Yeah.
I think it's 9 or 10 miles from the house. It's pretty far.
Maybe.
Because it's 5 to the pier.
That's right.
But we walked to Vacancy, and she was telling me how your brain moves faster when you're working out. So that's why you talk so much on walks.
Interesting.
So I was on a walk with Chloe. And we're talking about everything. And Chloe is making a big move to a new city. Big city. She's been trying to do this for a long time, and she hasn't told a lot of people, but she's told her close friends, and one of her close friends kind of just started acting distant, and her behavior started to shift, and Chloe was like, I do not know what is happening. And this is one of her best friends, and she's like, it's just hard because I'm literally moving to this city where my best friend lives, and instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you, she's just like, oh.
Why wouldn't she be excited, do you think? Or did she mention why?
Maybe it's out of jealousy.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's my go-to thought process, honestly.
And I told Chloe, I was like, you have to keep these things private until you know that you are going to act on something. You cannot let people give their energy to it. And the second you tell your friends, and this goes with every aspect of your life, it allows them to insert opinion here.
Well, and when we started talking about it, I told you it actually makes me really sad because you realize how many times I'm naturally one of those people. Let me just say really fast that when something exciting is happening, or I make up my mind to do something, like, oh my gosh, I want to run to the people, especially that in my life, that I'm like, guess what? I've decided to do this, or or I did this. And you learn, I think, the hard way over and over. And this is not just me, that people aren't always the happiest for you. Mm-hmm. And, they'll disguise it with, either concern, which is also a lot of times, masked.
There you go.
There you go. Concern is really also, again, out of jealousy or just not wanting to see you succeed. Wow, guys.
Succeed. The thing is, I didn't see anything wrong with what you just said. I immediately got it.
We're definitely succeed or win. And it's like, I think, or I've learned that you really can't do that. And it's often the people closest to you. And that's really, like, when we were talking about situations or, times that this has happened, it dawned on me how many times it was always the closest people to me, and how sad that is.
So sad. And I honestly think some friends are close to you because they want to keep tabs on you in this sense, so that way they can almost like sabotage. And we'll circle back to how, like, specific situations, but that is just, and
that's why you have to keep it to yourself. And it sucks. It has to be that way. Like, it's one thing to overshare on social media or anything. You can expect a certain amount of people to be like, whatever, they're not happy. But again, it's back to this people that are closest to you. It's like, you'll share there and then not get the engagement. No, you're just like, wow, that's so passive aggressive.
That is such a big thing, especially because social media is so big and it's literally in every single.
And it's a form of communication, like it or not.
100% of like when you like someone's story, like someone's posts.
Of course,
if your friends are not liking your stories or liking your posts, I'm sorry. Like, that is a huge red flag. Your friends should be your biggest rainmakers, your biggest supporters, like your biggest fans. If they're the first to watch your story, the first to like be seeing, or the worst is when they like bring it up on a phone call, but for a fact they didn't like it. So it's like, okay, so I know now you're literally just keeping tabs on me, but you can't support me. Like, that's so weird.
Painful, and it's hard to admit. And the funny thing is, I don't call people out on that, because I don't even kind of want to give it power or attention, but I should. I should. Like, what would it hurt even? Just like, thanks, by the way, for not even.
Yeah, you should. I don't call people out. I just cut them off.
Yeah. Well,
like, it's not my job to teach you how to be a good person. You made it this far in life. Like, you should know.
No, but you start to realize who's really going to be the supportive ones. Yes. And that is.
Especially when I am always, and this is what you need to like take inventory of. If you are the type of friend that, for example, when Chloe came to me and she's like, I'm moving, I was so excited for her. I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you feeling? Like, this is amazing. What are you doing? Like, how are you decorating your new apartment? I need to come visit. And at the same time, I know if I share something with her, she's like equally excited. Like, I shared the auditions with her and she's like, oh my, like, or Whitney sending you these nice texts. It's like those types of friends want to see you succeed equally as much as they want to succeed. But it's like, on the contrary, the friends that don't, those are not your friends. No. Or the friends that just ask and then they're like, oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Are you sure that's a good idea? That's the one that I've gotten a lot with things like, oh, is that something you think you can work into your schedule? It's like, well, first of all, you know nothing about my schedule. So I know that.
As a matter of fact, my schedule's about to free up once I cut you out of my life.
Well, even with this podcast, I remember telling a couple people early on, and we decided not to tell anyone for a long time.
Yes.
But I can easily think of like 4 or 5 people. 2 of them were extremely positive.
Yes.
Right? Nick was one of them. He was so excited. He was like, fuck yeah, tell me. I want to know everything. And then again, there were some other people really close to us that were like, wow, oh, really? I mean, you're just going to like go on there and talk? And like, are you really going to want to put yourself out? Okay. I really know this is not why you care.
But you also know they're going to be the first to listen.
100% they are.
Duh.
They are. Just so you know.
They're sick and obsessed.
Yes. And it's like they may not care what you're doing, but they're your fans, like it or not. So
you have to protect your, for lack of a better word, like vibe.
Yes.
When you have this vision before you execute it. And the most perfect example I can think of is with relationships.
Oh my gosh. 100%.
Like romantic relationships.
That's a big one.
Huge. And with my boyfriend, every girl has made the mistake of like, you start talking to a new guy. You tell your friends that you're talking to a new guy. You're so excited. You're sharing everything because it's like you want to tell your friends. Obviously, that's like girlhood. And a couple days later, you get ghosted. And this guy like falls off the face of the earth. And does that have to do with like him? Yes. But I think a big part of it too is like you're allowing people to give energy to something that literally has nothing to do with them. And the thing is, I feel like we were talking about this earlier, but how energy is transactional.
Yes. And it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. But it's like that is how they can put negative energy towards you, or if they talk about it with your other friends. And it's like so horrible. And with my boyfriend, I was dating him and seeing him.
So funny.
No one had any idea. Because also, too, I need to decide what I'm going to do before I'm like, you guys, I just met my husband. Like, that's such a girl thing to do. I literally, I mean, I already knew. But I was so private about it until we were literally officially dating. And I told all my friends. And I remember even Whitney's like, you're lying. And I'm like, no, like, and of course, was that conversation going to be awkward with everyone? Yes, at first. But then my friends, especially Whitney's like, I completely understand where you're coming from because it's so true. Like the second you tell someone, why does it all of a sudden like crash and burn like that? And I think it's to do with this.
People that don't want to support it really. And this is on you, me, whoever. It's when they start to say things. Oh, you like. With how small the world is, especially here in Orange County, someone knows well, I heard this. And that kind of negative talk gets in your head no matter what.
Yes.
And it's like moving in silence there is really about making that decision for yourself.
Yes.
Without so much influence or negativity or just, and it's usually coming from friends that maybe you're single or maybe just aren't in a happy relationship. Because others, they'd be like, go for it.
Yeah, duh. And the worst part is like when you call out that behavior, it's like, well, no, because I told you I was so excited. Sure, you said that, but the shit look on your face literally told me otherwise.
Thank you.
The way you acted following that comment reflects otherwise.
Yes.
Like just because you said that, like I could be like, oh my gosh, I love carrots. But if you see me eating carrots, you're going to know I don't like carrots.
Right.
Like
you're like that kid on that Instagram. But it also happens when you're trying to change things as well, not just make big moves. So like, I'll tell you when I was, when I was married before and I knew that I had to leave, I did all of that without telling anyone. Like literally because everyone
has an
opinion and they were so all about like, you can't make this decision. You can't change this because of that whole idea of like, maybe I could have been happier elsewhere, and everyone had an idea that my good friend at the time was also really unhappy. So like misery loves company, right? And everyone wanted to be on the same page. And I'm like, no, I'm moving to the beach. I'm going to be in a much better situation.
Yes.
I'm going to be in a better situation with you. And I did it like I prepared for a long time, but it basically happened in a day, according to everyone else.
Crazy.
And was it the best thing I ever did? 1000%.
Yeah.
And even at that, but by the time everyone wanted to chime in, I was like,
your mind was made up.
Yeah, I was
already
done. And it was the good thing for me. And it was that move in silence that helped create that atmosphere. Because I guarantee if I would have told people, they would have talked me out of it.
Yes. And the thing is, your friends, the people that you allow closest to you, obviously have some influence over you, good or bad.
And that's
like, hello, like you rely on friends really for opinions. Yes, of course.
There should be your soundboard. They should be, the ones to help you from yourself sometimes. But I don't think that it's always genuine.
No.
That's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
I've had people in my life for a very long time, and that can be
and
very
this goes as far as friends, families,
family members can be some of the worst too.
Yes.
And I think that's
I think a lot of family members, like I've seen in other people's families or even like your parents, I can see jealousy come from family. Like and this is crazy to me because you should only want better for your child. And like I see you and dad and you guys truly want better for Beckham and I. But it's like I see other people's parents who are intimidated by their children, which is crazy.
I see that too. And we've talked about
we have talked about this.
And
to where they are trying to like sabotage their child.
Like low key, they'll dim their light. Like they'll do the aesthetic thing on Instagram, like, oh, my children, and they put them on display. But then when like we know other behaviors, and it's just really, it's like, wait a minute, are you really trying to take the spotlight away from your kid? Like,
it's so messed up.
But that's why I think as an adult child, you also tend to let those outside influences also affect you, which is again why moving in silence is so important, especially if you know that might be a factor for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's very hard to continue to, I mean, for me, it's still hard because I get excited and I'm like, why do I keep wanting to tell the same people that I know will just
tear you down or tear down the situation or downplay it? You deserve people in your life who are going to celebrate the smallest fucking shit.
The smallest thing.
Like, I will get a cake for any occasion. I will get cakes for all my friends, for my boyfriend, for my family. Like, anything that I can slap.
We're that family for sure.
Oh,
we're like, oh my gosh, family. First day on the job, we're going to dinner.
Yes, everything. Every
we can't
little
help
thing.
it. Like, we look for a reason, I think.
And you deserve people in your life who are going to celebrate you for the smallest wins. You parallel parked on your first try. Let's go. We're going to lunch.
Fucking go.
Like, seriously.
No camera. What?
No, yeah.
You got an extra scoop of ice cream.
Side note, I was driving with my boyfriend on the freeway, and he's like, I'm getting you blind spot mirrors. And I'm like, just look over your shoulder.
One of those rear view, like, long ones?
No, the little on the side mirrors.
Does he know you won't use them?
I was like, that, I'm just like, watch. Hey, friend, go like this.
Hey, friend. No, thank you, friend.
No, thank you, friend. I always say that, and it drives him nuts because it's so like first grade teacher coded, and it's like, no, thank you, friend. Please go sit back down. But it's so funny.
It's actually so harsh.
But the truth is, some people want to see you fail.
And it's true. Like I told you, I read online yesterday because I was really wanting to dig into just more stories about this. I mean, aside from my own. And then someone wrote, you think they're praying for you, but they're actually preying on you. And I don't know why that just wrecked me.
Prey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus Pray. And I thought, gosh, that's so real. And it's just, I mean, we kind of talked about in the friendships and personalities, like the one upper. Mm-hmm. And I think that kind of plays into that. It's those friends usually that they're trying to one up you either by keeping you down.
Yes.
Or just in like the most obvious version of that. But it's the keeping you down. That one really gets me because I really started to think about situations like that. When I thought about the moving one, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Because I was 25.
So crazy.
And that you rely on everyone's opinion at that age. You don't know yet. I mean, I'm like I always say, like even at my age, I'm still at a point where you learn to just not care what people think. Like, it's a learning process because it's hard not to, especially the people you care about.
And even in that sense, 25 is still so young. Like I remember being in high school and even looking at 23 being like, wow, that's so old. As a 23-year-old, I'm like, I'm a child. I'm no different.
You are a child.
It's very true. Another thing that I want to highlight, like that you have to move in silence with, is when you are like, I want to be in my glow up era. I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape. I want to do these things. You cannot tell anybody. I think you have to keep it so private. Yes.
And the fitness one is a big one. Mm-hmm. That's a huge one. I think because as someone who has worked on this basically forever.
Yeah.
Anytime there was a period in my life where I was like, I'm on the grind, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
The amount of negative talk I received from people, whether, oh my gosh, you're being obsessive. And mind you, this girl will throw down, like I can be on my grind and you put a bucket of fries in front of me, they're going down, right? Like no problem.
Yeah.
But you have to be consistent for a certain amount of time with anything you do. Of course. And especially once you've had poor habits for a long time, you really got to teach your body it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that would try and just, I mean, I would even get text messages, even this last year after what happened with you. Mm-hmm. I would work really, really hard after, also because of my anxiety. I've learned a long time ago that I can't run anymore. So I got to do all the other things that keep my brain in check.
Healthy, yeah.
And so whether it's walking 5 miles a day or doing the spin class, I would do whatever I can. that combined with the stress of what happened.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot smaller. Oh my gosh, the messages were really concerned on XYZ. You're not really concerned.
You're really not concerned.
Like, I know where this is coming from. I'm doing just fine.
No, and I literally think you look better than you've ever looked before, and it has nothing to do with your weight. It literally has to do with how you carry yourself, how you walk into a room, how you conduct yourself, like literally all of it.
Right.
The way you're talking, because you feel good.
I feel better.
Yes. Were we very like skinny in the summer? Yes, but we both responded in such a way where we're like, oh my gosh, if we want to do something, we have to do it.
Yes, it was so like the panic mode of like grabbing life by, you know,
the balls.
By the ball, yeah, and just doing the things.
Yes,
it was absolutely.
So we were literally walking probably 5 to 6 miles every day with like ankle weights and spinning and eating very clean. And first of all, loved it. I've literally never felt better. Like,
of course,
walking is such a hack too. I love walking. It's so good for your physical and mental health and your lymphatic system.
And apparently for this podcast.
Yeah, definitely for the I Did It First podcast. Like, there's so much good to come from a walk. Okay, so go outside, touch grass, go on a walk.
And drinking's another one. You want to talk about move in silence? You need to move in silence when you're trying to stop drinking,
dude. Yes.
That 100%. One alone has been...
Talk about misery loves company.
So fucking challenging.
Yes, you tell people, no, I'm not drinking. Suddenly, it is everyone's goal to push shots down your throat or get you to drink, or it's just one. Like, oh no, like, you have to transition. No, if I say I don't... And your friends, your people who are actually for you will support you. And in matter of fact, they'll hold you accountable. Like, to where you're going to pick up a drink, they're like, no, you don't really want that. Like, you're trying to do, like, come on, like...
No, it's wild because this wouldn't happen with like a cigarette, right? But there's just something about not drinking that makes so many people uncomfortable.
I think it's because they're uncomfortable with themselves. I think it doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah, but that one has been, I mean, where I'll just say, you know what, I know I'm good, I can't go. It's just easier to kind of avoid a situation.
I agree.
And then after a certain amount of time, you just hope people will forget.
Yeah.
But... That
Honestly,
one's crazy.
If it makes you uncomfortable, you need to look inward because it has nothing to do with me. Truthfully.
Yeah, no, that one's
a big one. It has nothing to do with me.
And I know other people that are also trying to do that too, just for there's so many reasons. Number one, it just costs way too much now. Let's just be honest.
It's not just that. It's when I go out, I have to account for like a $40 Postmates order too. And suddenly I'm like the town's mayor when I'm out at the bar. You get a shot. You get a shot. No, Oprah. Who am I kidding? I am so generous. I wake up in the morning and I see my like bank statement. I'm like, what the fuck?
I've been robbed. Who was it?
And half of those drinks that I was drinking were getting paid for. So tell me why I just spent $250 on Malarkey's, because the math isn't mathing.
No.
And then I go to Laventina's to get pizza and I'm like, oh yeah, I want a salad. I want wings. I'm going to share with all my friends.
All your friends, mind you, the people you just met in line behind you.
Yeah. No, can't. I was like, we're not doing this. But back to getting in like physical better shape.
That one just wrecks me though.
That one is hard because it's like, I swear I've had friends too who, and we talked about this with Whitney today too, that will like suddenly try and sabotage that. It's like before.
Not Whitney.
No, not Whitney.
But
we
like
were talking.
With her,
we were talking about it. Like Whitney and I hold each other so accountable, but we both have friends that it's like, suddenly we're on this grind, like working so hard, and now they're trying to sabotage.
And that's the thing, she's so happy, and that when you see that and you see like how people trying to affect that, it's again this idea of like, well, I don't want to see you succeed, like I'm gonna pull you back down.
Yes.
And it's so heartbreaking. And I mean, this even happened after Beckham was born. I was FYI, you want to know, as a woman, a hack to reset, having a baby resets your body. It is like
this. As I just got off birth control.
No,
she's like,
not everyone mute, plug your ears. But like when you're, well, you don't even have to be married. If you're in a good place in your life to have a baby, okay. But it was like the hard reset, like a brand new phone reset, like on my body. I'm like
writing it down.
And so it was so receptive. And with Beckham, I was on that grind.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, people would sabotage me. I even had, mind you want to hear this story? My mother-in-law sent me, and this is probably the only time I will mention her, just out of pure need to not give her energy. She's a very
nasty person.
Sent me a card with chocolate. And I was like, I opened it and I was like, at first I was like, gosh, how sweet. The only thing she wrote in it was, why don't you eat some chocolate for once? Okay.
No.
Yeah. I was like, oh. And she was one of the ones that would seriously call and tell people, oh my gosh, she's obsessive. She's this.
You're committed. Hello.
I mean, I was eating like 1,800, 2,000 calories a day, like running. I was just doing normal stuff. It wasn't,
You're eating healthy.
I mean, I'm just not throwing back,
Michelob Ultras and
10 vodka sodas every night.
Yeah.
It's just,
you're a horrible mother.
But I am.
Eat some chocolate. I'm so using that against you. You have no idea. Instead of like touch grass, I'm going to say eat some chocolate.
No, I just remember sitting in the kitchen because it was just so fucking mean.
I would have been like, there's no way. I would have.
She took the time. She lives in another state, mind you. This wasn't like she dropped it off.
Yeah. Dropped it in the mailbox.
Yeah, seriously. So again, it was just another instance where I've learned, okay, I just need to keep this to myself. When she's around or she visits, and at the time we fixed that. But I just didn't share.
Yeah, no,
and there was a lot of people at the time.
Because even with my old friends, I would share these things with them, and suddenly everything we would do or every time they'd ask to hang out would be to like get food. And looking back on that at the time, I'm like, oh, they just want to hang out. But I'm like, why is it now that I'm like literally trying to focus on myself? Like, whatever happened to us just going to the beach or going on walks? Now it's like we don't even eat this much normally.
No, but it just reminds them of what they can't do, I think.
Yes.
Like they maybe want to do something you're doing at that time, or, maybe wanting to do, like, it doesn't have to be the fitness stuff. It could be going back to school. It could be any of those things. And it just reminds them of what they're not doing. And that's where their discomfort comes from.
Yeah. And I think that's what this whole podcast episode is about. It's like, you have to move in silence, because these people who are trying to keep you down, it's because they can't commit to something bigger than themselves, like a goal. So it's easier for them to just try and keep you back down, instead of being like, fuck, maybe this is inspiring for me.
Yeah. And I guarantee most people can already identify who those people in their lives are.
Yeah, I think
because even when you have accomplished something, they're the ones that, like they're kind of, you could tell they were bitter through their smile. They're like, oh, wow.
It looks like they just ate shit.
Yeah. Like literally like bitter beer face. And it's just, it's not genuine. Those are the same people that are probably going to talk shit when you're trying to work on something.
Of course.
And it's just really, we talked about it, and I just said, the more we talk about this, the more heartbreaking it is, because it just makes you realize you can't share that shit. And like you want to, because on the flip side, when you're going through those things or you're trying to work, like, okay, going back to school, let's say you want to tell people so they can be like, fuck yeah, good for you. Like, keep it up. And those words of encouragement matter so much. And it's like, okay.
And I think when you tell the right people to the other extreme, now you have people that are holding you accountable. And that is what you need. If you're trying to reach these goals, you need to tell people that are going to hold you accountable. Yes. And be like, no, you're not fucking quitting. No, you want to stop drinking? We're not going to the bars. You want to eat healthy? Let's go on walks. Let's go get coffee and go on a walk. Like, your friends can be your biggest tools
100%.
Or your like biggest weapons. Like,
but weapons in disguise.
Yeah, it's not even that obvious. I do think that as someone who has had friends like this, you
do.
But it's hard. It's really hard to like just stop being friends with someone.
And hard to explain, because they're not so outward. I think they're not so obvious to other people. Like, this behavior.
I hate that too.
And they're not so obvious to other people. And that's like microaggression that I can't stand, because people are like, no, they seem supportive. And you're like, you don't know them at all. That was so not supportive.
I keep mentioning Whitney, and I'd love to have her on here, because we talk about this all the time. We'll be the first to recognize how someone is a bad person. Yeah. And I hate when people are like, no, they're so nice. And then like 8 months later they catch on and they're like, I can't believe that. And I'm just sitting here like,
I've been waiting.
No, because you made me feel like I was crazy.
Yeah. You know who's always like that too is Alicia. She was always like such a like, you fucking need to go do that then. And she was another one that I always used to talk to about this, about keeping it quiet, because I know a lot of people would do this to her.
Yeah.
And she just learned, and she would always tell me that, and I would always make the mistake over and over. And she'd say, you can't fucking tell people.
You can't. You literally can't.
And she was always like you need to do this. You need to just go for it.
You have to. Like, you can't. And I thank God that I am no longer friends with people that I was friends with before, because it's like when they would share things with me, I would be so outspoken about how happy I was for them, and that was not reciprocated, and that is very taxing.
And even though it shouldn't be like, it's not that because you do it, they should do it, but it's really nice when you both do it mutually, right?
I'm not here being like, wow, this is so, let me tell you about my thing now so you can tell me how great I am. No, it's just like, of course you just want that. So I feel like that's natural. And as a good friend,
of course,
you should want to support your friends. If you don't want to support me, like literally I feel like it would just be a lot to even be in someone's life you don't want to support.
Yes, that would be exhausting.
You don't want to be friends. You just want to be,
a fan. That's what I say.
Yes. Be a fan. Sit in the nosebleeds. Watch from afar. I don't care.
Yeah.
Do not be in my life.
Sit in the nosebleeds. I love that.
Go sit in the nosebleeds.
Go join the others.
But you have, listener, you have to move in silence with literally everything. I don't care if it's as small as what color nail polish you're getting, because even then it's like suddenly, if you're not paying for my manicure, you're not telling me what nail color I'm getting.
And especially if you know that you're affected. I know. Especially if you know that you're one of those people, which I can be. So I'm saying this, that can be influenced or impacted by what someone says. And so I have to be honest about that. I'd like to be like, I don't care.
Of course I care.
So that's why I have to just retreat and be quiet. And I do that. I'm notorious for it kind of disappearing, because I've just learned that's what I need to do.
Yes.
I know.
It's true.
Crazy work.
We are going to move in silence, except for on the way home, because we will be listening to the Morgan Wallen album. You should too.
I know. We're going to have it on repeat for some time. Which is crazy, because what is it? Like another 34 songs?
No, I think, do not disrespect Mr. Wallen. Like, I think it's like 37, 38. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
God bless him.
I know.
He's amazing. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
We love you guys so much. Move in silence.
Move in silence.
Yeah. If they're behind you, if they're talking shit behind your back, fart.
Yeah. Just
I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening to the I Did It First podcast. I'm Riley.
I'm Anna.
And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.